Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cutting through some of the noise in industrial manufacturing to look at a really foundational strategic shift that is resetting how companies operate and even how they profit. We're
Yeah.
focusing on companies that, used to just sell products, think heavy machinery, factory lines, things like that, and are now pivoting to selling guaranteed outcomes.
Right. And this pivot is the core of what we call digital servitization. It's the move from, well, a capital expenditure model where you, the customer, buy and own the equipment,
The old way.
the old way, exactly, to a consumption model where you're just paying for results. So you're not buying the boiler, you're buying guaranteed heat.
Hmm.
You're not buying the machine, you're paying for, say, 1,000 hours of uptime without a failure.
And these are often called everything as a service or ZISA's contracts, right?
That's it. It fundamentally changes the financial relationship.
And crucially, that means the manufacturer is now the one carrying the risk of equipment failure, which makes reliability everything.
It's paramount.
So this model is built on digital tech like IoT sensors, cloud platforms, and, most importantly, digital twins, these real-time digital replicas of assets. But here's the challenge.
It's the data.
It's the tsunami of data, promising 99.9% uptime across a global fleet. I mean, that requires continuous complex decisions. And that's traditionally required heavy human intervention, which really bottlenecks the whole thing.
That is the critical juncture. To make this high guarantee servitization actually profitable and scalable, you have to remove that human in the loop bottleneck for all the routine stuff.
And that's where this gets interesting.
That is where the agentic enterprise comes in. We're talking about agentic AI. Autonomous AI agents designed to perceive their environment, make high-stakes decisions, and execute actions, all with minimal human oversight.
So our mission today is to really understand how this merger digital servitization, providing the strategy, and agentic AI providing the execution engine, creates a truly self-driving service system. We're going to cover the high-level vision, the tactical applications, and then the key principles leaders need to get right.
Yeah, and the foundation here is really recognizing that AI and machine learning are the brain that turns all that raw sensor data into intelligent actions. But an AI agent is a step above that. It's a software entity that has autonomy.
So it sounds like taking the predictive capability of, say, traditional AI and giving it hands and feet to actually intervene in the real world.
Precisely. The power comes from its reasoning cycle, which goes way beyond a simple script. The agent follows a sequence: think, plan, act, reflect.
Okay.
It perceives the environment, it reasons about its goals, executes a plan, and then, and this is the vital phase, it reflects.
So it learns.
It learns. It evaluates the outcome. It checks if the action met the goal, looks for unintended consequences, and then it refines its own algorithms for the future. That adaptive learning is what makes the system self-optimizing.
So the complexity doesn't go away. It's just managed by something that can iterate and learn way faster than any human team.
Right.
And we're not talking about just one agent working alone.
No, not at all. We're talking about sophisticated multi-agent systems. Think of it like a specialized digital workforce.
Okay, so what kind of roles do they have?
Well, you have collaborative agents that handle coordination, for instance, making sure the maintenance scheduling agent talks instantly to the parts ordering agent. Then you have interface agents that might handle routine customer requests.
But how do you prevent this system from, getting out of hand? If they're all autonomous, who's the watchdog?
That's the role of the guardian agent. These are the overseers. They enforce compliance, contractual terms, safety rules. A guardian agent might ensure that a maintenance decision doesn't violate a customer's production blackout dates, for example.
They provide the guardrail.
They provide the essential boundaries, yes.
Okay, let's unpack this strategically then. If servitization is the goal, why does adding agentic AI provide such a massive competitive leap and not just, an incremental improvement?
The advantage is really rooted in continuous, perfect performance. The most immediate benefit is efficiency and 247 operations. I mean, industrial assets generate data all the time.
Around the clock.
Exactly. And AI agents operate around the clock without fatigue, without cognitive overload. An issue gets caught and addressed instantly. Picture a critical part failing on a remote mining vehicle at 3 a.m. The agent initiates diagnostics and corrective action in seconds.
Something a human team just can't match.
Impossible. And that continuous operation leads directly to scalability and cost reduction. Servitization has always been labor-intensive. Service engineers are expensive.
And there are only so many of them.
Right. By automating routine decision-making, agents break that link between service delivery and headcount. You can achieve economies of scale that were never possible before.
Which means you can offer these services to smaller customers too.
Yeah.
Contracts that were maybe previously unprofitable.
Exactly. And you can reallocate your best human experts away from the routine stuff and onto high-value work, like innovation.
But if you're automating these critical decisions, removing the human veto, doesn't that inherently increase the risk? I mean, the legal and accountability risk when something eventually does go wrong.
That's a really important question. It shifts the focus from managing performance to managing the system itself. And the answer is found in safety and risk mitigation. Human error is common. A technician misses a step. A planner misreads something.
Right.
The AI provides consistent rules-based execution. It actually reduces those kinds of incidents. And it also takes humans out of harm's way. Using an AI-controlled drone to inspect a volatile chemical reactor, for instance.
So accountability shifts from the individual person to the governance of the entire system's design.
Precisely. The AI offers consistency where humans introduce variability. And then, strategically, the final piece is hyper-personalization of services.
This sounds like the real game changer for the customer.
It is. Agents enable segments of one. They can learn that customer A is risk-averse, so they'll schedule conservative early maintenance. But customer B is maybe more cost-focused, so the agent optimizes to safely stretch maintenance intervals to the absolute maximum.
A completely customized service experience in real time.
Right. And that boosts loyalty and opens up all kinds of new business models, like dynamic service pricing.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, let's get tactical. How does this level of autonomy actually look on the ground? What specific tasks do these agents do?
Well, the backbone of all of this is real-time monitoring and predictive maintenance. The agents are like tireless observers, constantly analyzing these massive data streams, vibration, temperature, pressure, and catching issues long before they're visible to any human.
And the data on this really underscores the benefit, doesn't it? I saw some of the source research from McKinsey says that implementing this kind of predictive maintenance can cut downtime by a staggering 30 to 50%.
And extend the machinery's lifespan by 20 to 40%.
That's not a marginal improvement. That's a fundamental competitive advantage.
It is. And what's fascinating is how the multi-agent system orchestrates an entire end-to-end coordination of a service event. It's like a symphony.
Okay, so walk me through an example.
So a monitoring agent detects an anomaly, let's say fluctuating torque. Then a predictive maintenance agent forecasts the precise time of failure, say 5 days from now.
So it's not just what's wrong, but when will it break?
Exactly. Then a scheduling agent autonomously coordinates that fix with the customer's production schedule and finds an available technician. And finally, an inventory agent orders the needed part just in time for the fix.
The whole thing unfolds automatically. Just in time, just right maintenance.
With minimum unplanned downtime. And beyond those planned fixes, agents also facilitate dynamic service coordination and automation. They act like a superpowered dispatcher, optimizing service routes globally.
And what about self-healing systems?
That's where it gets really powerful. An AI support agent might detect a performance issue, not a physical failure, but maybe a software glitch. It can remotely access the machine, adjust settings, reboot software, and fix the problem without ever dispatching a human.
That is the ACT phase in its purest form.
It is. And finally, they transform the customer experience through automated, proactive communications.
So the customer isn't in the dark.
Never. Interface agents provide instantaneous 24/7 support. An outreach agent can automatically notify a customer about a scheduled fix, turning what could be an annoyance into a positive interaction. And they can auto-generate these personalized reports, highlighting things like 99.5% uptime and explaining the cost savings in plain language.
It strengthens that whole servitization relationship.
Dramatically.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Shifting to an agentic enterprise isn't just a tech upgrade. It feels like a profound organizational transformation. What are the core principles leaders have to adopt to succeed here?
The first principle is actually quite simple. Start with customer value and experience. Leaders have to avoid being, as the source material says, overly technology-driven and overlooking the purpose.
So don't just optimize for your own internal costs.
Exactly. If the AI is brilliant at cutting your costs but schedules maintenance at a time that wrecks your client's production schedule, you failed. The AI's metrics have to be tied directly to the customer's outcome.
Which means the second principle has to be about redefining human roles, moving from command and control to something more like coordination and oversight.
That's right. The human manager's role changes completely. They're no longer the ones executing routine tasks. They're supervising the performance of the AI systems. Best analogy is an air traffic controller watching autonomous planes follow their routes.
So the human experts focus only on the truly novel, high-stakes exceptions that the machine can't handle yet.
And they have to be trained to trust the AI for the routine stuff. That's a big cultural shift.
And that level of trust and autonomy, it brings risk, which leads to principle 3. Prepare for risks, failures, and fallback mechanisms.
Because no AI is infallible. You have to implement robust fail-safes and human override capabilities. You need that proverbial pull-the-plug procedure for when the AI gets something wrong or encounters data it just doesn't understand.
And cybersecurity must be a huge concern.
Immense. These systems are highly connected. Data validation, intrusion detection, they're all non-negotiable when an agent can execute physical actions in the real world.
And finally, that brings us to principle 4. Ethical and compliance considerations. These have to be baked in from the start.
They do. The agents have to operate within defined ethical guidelines. This includes ensuring fairness. For example, the AI shouldn't arbitrarily prioritize service for a larger, more profitable customer over a smaller one.
And transparency.
Transparency is crucial. You have to be able to explain why an AI made a specific decision. That audit trail is essential for regulatory compliance and, just as importantly, for customer trust.
So, to synthesize all this, Agentic AI really provides the digital backbone for servitization. It allows firms to confidently move toward guaranteeing a near 100% uptime globally, not with an army of people, but with an army of digital, self-optimizing agents.
It overcomes the two biggest barriers to servitization: high labor intensity and coordination complexity. The result is an industrial enterprise that's faster, smarter, and, much closer to its customers.
This shift really takes that idea of the non-human enterprise from theory to reality in industrial services, which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to consider. If routine operations are entirely handled by AI, elevating human workers to focus only on high-level problem-solving, strategy, and innovation, what entirely new roles will be invented in the service industry that don't even exist today? What becomes the highest value task that humans will now exclusively own in this agentic future? That, I think, is the core question for the leaders who are building these systems right now. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.